Now it was time for another adventure, a Georgian Bay kayaking trip. This time our destination would be the Big Tub Lighthouse. This light is accessible from land, but not with as much excitement. We started in Tobermory Harbor with our friends from Thorncrest Outfitters, along with National Park Ranger Ethan Maleg, and of course our good buddy and super guide Chris Hughes. We're staying at the dock right now. We're getting ready to go out and do a little bit of kayaking, look at some of the shipwrecks and some of the lighthouses in the area. I'm actually standing here next to me is Tim Thorne of Thorncrest Outfitters. And Tim, you're going to be taking us out kayaking. Now this is something that anybody can actually come up here and do?
Pretty much. With a certain degree of expertise, they can paddle out in Georgian Bay or many of the inland lakes that we also have here around the Tobermory area.
Well, how many different places do you take people out to then?
Well, most people do like to paddle here in Little Tub Harbor and view some of the shipwrecks that are within the harbor.
So we're going to go ahead and get these kayaks in. We've got a beautiful day here. I mean, the water is like glass, and you were telling me this is a little bit odd maybe for this area. So, well, we're going to go on out. We'll get out of the harbor here and get out into the big water a little bit, and we'll see if it stays that way. Hopefully it will. We'll get around,
great,
look at these lighthouses, and enjoy this beautiful day we've got. What do you say we get going?
Let's go.
Great. The sea kayaks that Tim provided were an event in themselves. They were made for the big water and nasty weather. Fortunately, our weather today was perfect. We paddled out of the harbor, and just as we started into the Georgian Bay, we came across our first set of shipwrecks. They are located in the Phantom 5 National Marine Park. Canada's first National Marine Park protects 22 islands at the mouth of the Georgian Bay and a main ecosystem that extends from the surface water down 200 meters. The remains of 22 known sail and steam vessels from the mid-1900s to the early 20th century lie within the park boundaries and may be viewed by diving or from one of the glass-bottom boat tours operating out of Tobermory. Our trip to the lighthouse took us over the top of shipwrecks dating back 200 and 300 years. The water was so clear it made it seem as if I could reach down and touch them. In reality, the water was over 40 feet deep. It was an unbelievable trip paddling to the Big Tub Lighthouse. The day could not have been nicer, just a soft breeze and blue skies making for a perfect trip to be able to observe all the history that we would pass over. We had arrived at the light, and as we approached, Ethan Maleg told us more about the light and the harbor.
Yeah, we got a replica of this in the visitor center, Tom. This is the Big Tub Lighthouse, and it marks the entrance into Big Tub Harbor, which is right here. And it's a really great spot because it was a safe, a deep, safe harbor where boats could pull into, and there's actually mooring rings right here on the rock. So it was a good, safe place to stop if you're traveling around this area.
Now, is this something that you can actually get into the lighthouse? This isn't, is it?
The lighthouse isn't normally open. Only on a special occasion, maybe it's open. But you can walk right up to it, and you know, you've got great picnic benches. It's a good area for snorkeling or swimming, or a lot of divers will come here too. So
okay, this is the one you mentioned. You can also get to by road, then.
That's right. You can drive to it. So of course we're getting a much better perspective by paddling up to it. So
this is gorgeous. Now, is it a working lighthouse?
It is a working lighthouse. Yes, it's automated, and it does flash. You'll see it in the evenings. Yep, to mark the entrance of the harbor for people coming in. A lot of people that are out fishing will use it now as to guide their way back in. So.
Originally constructed in 1885 for the cost of, now listen to this, $675. The Big Tub Lighthouse played an important role in guiding ships into the harbor from the sometimes treacherous waters of Lake Huron in the Georgian Bay. The original structure was later replaced by a 6-sided 43-foot wooden lighthouse that is seen today. The wooden tower stands on a rocky ledge exposed to the fury of Lake Huron and the Georgian Bay. The white tower is trimmed in red with a red roof and lantern and is surrounded by dark green bushes and cedar trees. The lantern protects a modern optic. The picturesque light is reached by a boardwalk from the end of Front Street in Tobermory. The former keeper's dwelling is now